What if the greatest limits you face are not external, but internal? What if the real barrier between you and the life you want is not talent, intelligence, or opportunity, but the way you see yourself? And what if changing your self-image could unlock a level of confidence, success, peace, and happiness you never thought possible? That is the central idea behind Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz, one of the most influential personal development books ever written. Maltz, a plastic surgeon, discovered something surprising through years of working with thousands of patients. When he corrected a physical flaw, some patients instantly transformed in confidence and behavior, but others felt no different. Changing their appearance did nothing to change their identity. He realized that true transformation begins not on the outside, but in the mind. Psycho-Cybernetics teaches that each of us has a mental self-image, a deeply held belief about who we are and what we are capable of. We behave, perform, and experience life based on this internal picture. If we believe we are confident, capable, and worthy, we act with courage and achieve more. If we believe we are failures, unlucky, or inadequate, we sabotage ourselves, hesitate, and hold back. We do not live according to reality. We live according to our perception of reality. Change the self-image, Maltz says, and you change your entire life. Maltz explains that the human brain functions like a cybernetic system, similar to a guided missile or autopilot mechanism. It constantly works to move us toward the goals that align with our self-image. If our internal programming is negative, our actions unconsciously reinforce failure. If our programming is positive, we continually move towards success. The brain does not care whether the beliefs stored inside it are true or false. It simply acts to make them real. Our thoughts become instructions. Our imagination becomes our blueprint. One of the core lessons of Psycho-Cybernetics is that imagination is more powerful than willpower. Willpower is temporary and burns out quickly, but imagination shapes identity. If you visualize yourself succeeding, your brain begins working toward that outcome automatically. If you repeat images of fear or failure, the brain treats them as instructions. Maltz says that the brain cannot differentiate between real experience and vividly imagined experience. That means we can create new internal realities through mental rehearsal. Athletes use visualization for performance. Musicians practice mentally as well as physically. Anyone can reshape their identity by practicing success in the mind before expressing it in the world. Another important concept in the book is the idea that mistakes are part of the cybernetic process, not a reason to quit. A guided missile corrects its direction thousands of times before reaching its target. It does not interpret adjustments as failure. It simply recalibrates. Humans, however, interpret mistakes emotionally. We attach shame, doubt, and fear. Maltz explains that negative self-talk wires us for failure. A mistake should be treated as feedback, not identity. The most successful people are not flawless. They simply correct faster. Psycho-Cybernetics also explores the habit of self-forgiveness. People often hold on to past failures, replaying them internally until they become permanent mental scars. This keeps the self-image frozen in place. Maltz argues that emotional wounds must be healed, the same way physical wounds are healed. The mind must be allowed to recover and rebuild. Forgiveness is not letting yourself off the hook. It is letting go of the chain that keeps you stuck. Maltz also reveals that happiness is not something we chase, it is something we allow. People believe happiness will arrive once they achieve perfection or accomplish enough. But that mindset ensures unhappiness forever. because perfection never arrives. Maltz teaches that happiness is a habit, a choice, and a muscle. It is created by focusing on progress instead of perfection, gratitude instead of criticism, and possibilities instead of limitations. Another key lesson in Psycho-Cybernetics is the power of relaxation and mental stillness. Maltz explains that anxiety, fear, and self-doubt block creativity and performance. The brain functions best when calm. Through visualization, breathing, and slowing down mental chatter, we access a natural creative intelligence that solves problems more effectively. Many breakthroughs happen not through intense thinking, but through letting go and allowing solutions to surface. The book also challenges the idea that personality is fixed. Many people say, "That is just who I am." Maltz argues that personality is a learned behavior, not a permanent identity. Like any skill, confidence can be trained. Calmness can be trained. Success thinking can be trained. If we can learn insecurity, we can learn confidence. If we can learn fear, we can learn courage. The brain is plastic. It responds to repetition. One of the most practical exercises in the book is the theatre of the mind. Maltz instructs the reader to spend time daily imagining themselves, performing at their very best. Not vague fantasizing, but clear sensory detail. What you see, hear, feel, and think. Over time, this mental rehearsal rewrites the self-image. Your brain begins treating success as normal instead of unfamiliar. The results appear in behavior without force. You naturally speak more confidently. You naturally take action. You naturally handle challenges better. Change becomes effortless because you are no longer fighting your identity. Maltz also emphasizes the power of goal setting. A missile must know its target. A human must know what they want. Many people drift because they never choose a direction. Psycho-Cybernetics teaches that clear goals activate the brain's automatic success mechanism. Once the target is defined, the mind begins searching for solutions, opportunities, and pathways that were invisible before. The clearer the target, the more precise the results. Another powerful lesson is that life is not about eliminating negative thoughts, but refusing to feed them. We cannot control every thought that appears, but we can control which thoughts we nurture. The thoughts we repeat become beliefs. The beliefs we accept become identity. Identity becomes destiny. Psycho-Cybernetics teaches us to intentionally install thoughts that serve rather than sabotage. Maltz encourages the practice of replacing old self-talk with new mental scripts. I am capable. I am learning. I am improving. I choose progress. These affirmations are not magic. They are mental training. A new identity must be built like a muscle through consistent repetition. The self-image does not change overnight. It changes gradually through thousands of small mental shifts. The big takeaway from Psycho-Cybernetics is simple but transformative. You become who you believe yourself to be. Change begins not with the world, but with the self-image. Success is not something we pursue. It is something we allow by removing internal resistance. You do not need to be perfect to grow. You only need to believe growth is possible. You were born with the ability to change. The mind is the tool. Identity is the blueprint. Imagination is the construction team. So what stands out most to you? The power of visualization? The ability to rewrite your self-image? The idea that mistakes are feedback? Or the understanding that identity creates destiny? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this summary, make sure to like this video, subscribe to 10-Minute Books, and tap the bell so you never miss our weekly deep dives into life-changing books. Remember, your brain is a goal-seeking machine. Feed it the right instructions. Identify with the future you want, not the past you fear. You are not a prisoner of your history. You are the architect of your possibility.